Nora, my office. Now, the coffee machine gurgled like an old friend as I stood there, pouring a splash of almond milk into my morning brew. It was April 10.2025, a Thursday that started like any other until it didn't. I was 43, a woman who'd clawed her way up from nothing, and for 15 years, I'd poured my soul into Crestwood Enterprises. The break room smelled of burnt toast and stale ambition, and I was savoring the quiet when the door swung open. In strode Ethan, 29, the new CEO son of the company's founder, Victor Grayson. He didn't nod, didn't smile. His eyes slid over me like I was a fixture, a chair, or a potted plant. Then, with the casual cruelty of a man who'd never had to earn a damn thing, he barked, "Nora, at my office." Now, it wasn't a question. I set my mug down, the warmth leaching from my fingers, and followed him. 15 years building the client services team, from a skeleton crew to a powerhouse, securing over 150 contracts, mentoring kids fresh out of college into sharp professionals. None of it mattered to Ethan. His father, Victor, had forged Crestwood with sweat and loyalty. A titan of a man at 67 who'd hired me after one handshake and a gut feeling. Ethan. He'd inherited the throne and thought it made him a king. He didn't sit, just stood there, flipping through papers like he was picking a sandwich. "You're fired," he said, voice flat as a dead battery. "We don't need dead weight holding us back." I blinked, my chest tightening. Lazy. Me. The woman who'd worked Christmas Eve while her marriage crumbled, who'd landed the Al Rashid deal after 6 months of sleepless nights. "Excuse me," I managed. He didn't flinch. "You heard me. Pack your stuff. You're done." The room spun. I wanted to scream, to hurl every late night and every victory in his smug face. But something colder took over. I smiled slow, deliberate, sharp as a blade. "Understood," I said. "Have a nice day, Ethan." I walked out, head high, legs trembling beneath me. My team kids I'd trained, friends I'd cried with, watched in silence. Sarah, 32, half stood, her eyes wide. But I shook my head. "Don't. Not here." Driving home, the memories hit like a flood. 15 years. I'd given Crestwood more than I'd given my own daughter. Now 19 and distant. Late nights. Holidays. Tears swallowed over a phone line while my ex signed divorce papers. And now, nothing. But I wasn't angry, not yet. I was curious. Why me? Why now? The Al Rashid deal, our biggest yet, was days from closing. I built it brick by brick, knew the client's quirks like my own heartbeat. Ethan couldn't even pronounce their name, had he even glanced at the contract. Sleep dodged me that night, my mind a hamster wheel of questions. At 9:03 a.m., my phone buzzed an unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. "Nora, it's Victor." His voice, gravelly and tight, jolted me upright. The real CEO, the man who'd seen something in me all those years ago. "I just got in. Why the hell's your desk empty? What happened?" I swallowed. "Your son fired me yesterday. Said I was lazy. Said I wasn't needed." Silence. Then a sharp inhale. "What?" I recounted it, Ethan's cold dismissal, my stunned exit. Victor paused, then asked, "Did he read your contract?" I frowned. "What do you mean?" "The Al Rashid deal's today. Right 11 a.m. Yeah. I set the final meeting. Jesus Christ. Papers rustled. Then a thud like he'd punched his desk. "Nora, your contract has a clause. After the Meridian fiasco 5 years back, I made damn sure of it. You're the only authorized negotiator for Al Rashid. Legally, ethically. Practically he can't close it without you." My breath caught. Ethan hadn't read it. He'd swung the axe without checking the blade, and now it was lodged in his own foot. Victor's fury crackled through the line. "He didn't know," I said, half to myself. "No, he didn't," Victor growled. He hung up, leaving me in a silence that hummed with possibility. I sank onto my couch, coffee cooling beside me, and laughed a low, bitter sound. 15 years. undone by a spoiled brat playing CEO like it was a video game. But real stakes don't reset with a button. At 10:13, my phone erupted Ethan. Reception.legal.accounting. I let them pile up. Voicemails stacking like bricks. Ethan's came first, his voice tight as a wire. Nora. Hey, it's me. Yesterday was a misunderstanding. I moved too fast. We need you back today. It's urgent. Call me. Urgent. Not sorry. Not please, just panic in a cheap suit. I sipped my cold coffee, unmoving, as the calls kept coming. Then Nicole rang 38, a friend from my early days at Crestwood, now in marketing. Nora, you won't believe this, she whispered. Victor just tore Ethan apart in front of everyone, slammed the Al Rashid contract on the table and asked, "Did you read this before firing Nora?" Ethan bluffed some garbage about new directions, but Victor wasn't having it. Flip to that clause you always harped on. Ethan went white, ghost white. He knows he screwed the deal. I exhaled, slow and steady. What'd Victor say? He told Ethan, if Al Rashid walks, your job's on the table. A crack in Ethan's armor, sharp and deep. Nicole paused. You've got the upper hand. Nora, whatever you do next, it's your move. I thanked her, hung up, and stared out my window. The city sprawled below, indifferent to the chaos in my little world. At 11:15, Victor texted Nora, I'm sorry. I misjudged this. Come in, not just for the deal, but to talk, privately. Tempting. But I wasn't ready to waltz back like nothing happened. Ethan's stunt wasn't just a contract fumble. It was a gut punch to my dignity, my trust, my years. I didn't want revenge, though. I wanted accountability. I texted back, I'll consider returning for Al Rashid, but only with conditions. I need to speak with you first. Then I ditched my pajamas, pulled myself together, and drove to Crestwood. I didn't slink through the employee entrance at noon. I strode through the main lobby, heels clicking like a war drum. Heads turned, everyone knew I'd been axed. Now, I was back. A ghost in broad daylight. The receptionist, Mia 25, stammered. Miss Evans, Nora, Mr. Grayson's expecting you. She led me down the hall, the air thick with whispers and stolen glances. Victor waited at his office door. No smile, just a nod. Nora, thank you. I stepped inside, sat across from his oak desk, a fortress of a thing. He shut the door, leaned against it, and sighed. I screwed up. Gave Ethan too much rope too soon. Wanted him to prove himself. Didn't think he'd burn the house down first. His voice softened. What he did was wrong, unprofessional, disrespectful. And it nearly cost us Al Rashid. The first nodded. It did. I reread your contract this morning, he said. You've got full autonomy on that deal. No one else can legally represent us. After Meridian, you cleaned up that mess. I insisted on that clause. I remember, I said, voice low. So do I, he replied. You didn't deserve this. I want you back. Nora, finish Al Rashid. Name your terms. Sincerity hung in his words. Regret, too. But this wasn't just about a deal. I'll return, I said. But I want it in writing, revised contract. Clear authority. No meddling from Ethan. He nodded fast. Done. And one more thing, I added. Steel, in my tone. This can't happen again to me, to anyone. He met my eyes, thoughtful. You have my word. I stood, stepped out, and there was Ethan down the hall, arms crossed, pretending to chat with some junior exec. His gaze snapped to me, and I held it, unflinching. For a heartbeat, I saw at his control slipping like sand through his fingers. I walked past, spine straight, and didn't look back. By 1 p.m., the boardroom buzzed. The Al Rashid team had arrived. I reviewed the docs one last time, the Arabic translation gleaming on the table, outside the glass walls. Ethan paced. A caged tiger. Victor intercepted him, voices rising until Victor's hand sliced the air. Ethan's face flushed crimson. He shot me a look rage. Shame. Both then stormed off, gone for the day. At 1:30, Mr. Al-Rashid entered, 55. All steel and instinct, I greeted him in Arabic, and his rare smile broke through. You remembered, he said. Respect matters. The meeting flowed like silk 2 hours, hands shaken. Deal signed. Victor approached after, relief etching his face. You saved us, Nora. I owe you more than an apology. You owe Crestwood a leader, I said. One who knows power isn't a toy. He didn't argue. That night, the weight began to lift. But I knew Ethan wouldn't vanish, he'd slink back. Venom ready. The Al-Rashid deal hit industry headlines the next week. Crestwood lands historic partnership through strategy and multilingual grit. No mention of me. But my inbox overflowed quiet nods from staff who'd watched me weather the storm. The office lightened. Ryan sidelined indefinitely, yet something gnawed at me. Then it started. Expense reports delayed. Approvals stalled. An email I didn't send flagged by it, sowing doubt with a client. The partner called me direct. Confused, and I smoothed it over. It found no hack, just internal traces. Ethan. He couldn't fire me again, so he'd smear me instead. Slow and subtle, until I broke, or they did. I'd seen it before my first job. 22 under a director who choked me out with whispers and red tape. I didn't bend then. I wouldn't now. I logged everything, dates, times, emails, conversations in a notebook. A shield of ink. One afternoon, I overheard Ethan in the conference room. Voice too loud. She's unstable, erratic, aggressive. Not fit for big clients. A new exec murmured. But Al-Rashid luck. Ethan snapped. We can't bank on luck. My blood iced, not from fear, but clarity. He was rewriting me, poisoning the well. That night, Victor found me in the meeting room. City lights glinting outside. Still here? He asked. So are you, I said. He set a folder down my new contract. Ironclad. I've started an audit, he added. Too many mistakes lately. I met his gaze. Why not stop him? A pause. I needed to see how far he'd go. Tiredness shadowed him. Father, not CEO. You're protecting the company, I said. Trying to protect you both, he corrected. Maybe it's too late for one. I closed the folder. I don't need protection. Decide your legacy. He left, and I braced for the storm. The audit room was a warren of files and screens. David, 40, the lead auditor, showed me proof emails faked, files altered, all from shared machines under my name, tied to Ethan's assistant's login. Sabotage, I said, coordinated. David nodded. We're taking it to Victor. No filters. I'll be there, I said. He blinked. You don't have to. I will. Next morning, the boardroom crackled. Victor stared out the window. Ethan sauntered in late. Smug until he saw me. She's not on the committee, he snapped. My request. Victor said. I spoke. Calm as a blade. You used company tools to fake emails. David laid it out, login trails, timelines. Ethan's mask cracked. She's bitter, he sneered. You nearly sank Al-Rashid. I shot back. Victor turned. I gave you chances, Ethan. You tore down what we built. Ethan faltered. It's not. It's worse, Victor said. You're suspended. Now. Ethan glared at me, disbelief. Not rage, then left. Victor sagged. I failed him. As a leader, a father. He wouldn't grow. I said, you can still lead Crestwood. He nodded, and the weight eased. 2 weeks later, Ethan was gone, terminated quietly. Reputation in tatters. I felt no triumph, just calm. Victor offered me Director of Client Strategy. Executive level. You didn't ask, he said. That's why it's yours. I want to rebuild the culture. I replied, not just hold a title. He smiled. I hoped you'd say that. In my new office, I stared at the blank nameplate. 15 years of silence had nearly cost me everything. I'd been underestimated, attacked, but never broken. I reshaped the department, reinstated the pushed out, opened channels, mentored the young. They asked how I endured. You don't pick the battles, I said. You pick who you become, Ethan. Word was he was scrambling at small firms. His name, a whisper of warning. Victor might have softened his father's last gift. I didn't care. Standing by the glass wall where Al-Rashid was won, I remembered that smile I'd given Ethan the moment I knew my worth. That was my victory. And no one, not a boss's son, not a soul, would take it from me again.